Hi everybody, hope you're all okay and I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I hope you've got your head around the fact we're not coming into school for a while, and I hope you've sort of sorted out a plan for yourselves so you keep yourselves busy. Just because we're not coming into school, it doesn't mean we're not going to have art lessons. I'm going to be putting art lessons online for you, and as I said to you before we all left, we're going to be starting a new project anyway, so that sort of fits in really quite well. The lessons are going to have to be drawing based in the main because I don't really know what materials you've got at home, and drawing does underpin everything else that we do in art anyway, so it's a good opportunity to keep practicing. Our new project, as I think I told you before we left, is going to be based on architecture. We're going to be looking at buildings, we're going to be thinking about architects and designs that they've produced, we're going to be looking at artists who've responded to architecture. And at the very start of this project, we're going to be thinking about different drawing techniques we can use to help us make things look three-dimensional. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the work of an artist called M.C. Escher, and he, in particular, produced artwork that had a really strong three-dimensional form to it. We're also going to be looking at techniques, perspective techniques that allow us to do drawings that also look three-dimensional. And what we're looking at today is the simplest of those techniques, which is called one-point perspective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing you some images, I'm going to be doing a demonstration, I'm going to be moving the camera around a bit and no doubt that'll go a bit wrong, and then I'm going to be setting you a little bit of work. If you want to show me your work, I'm going to be emailing you with a link to a Google Photos album, and all you need to do is take a photo of your work and then you can drop it into the album, put your name on it. You have an option just to write underneath it, so you can put your name on it, and then I'll be checking that on a daily basis, and if you send me your work I will comment on it and give you feedback. Okay, don't forget you can also email me anytime you like and I will respond. So that's the plan. Please don't expect really slick broadcasting here. This is completely new to me. It's really uncomfortable. This seems really weird because I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at a camera, and the camera isn't smiling or giving me any feedback at all. It feels really odd. I'm hoping as time goes on I get a little bit better at it. I might not. I'm sure you'll tell me what you think, and that's fine. But I am obviously really looking forward to seeing you all again, hopefully in the not too distant future. Okay, so here we go. So what we're going to have a go at is the simplest form of perspective, which is called one-point perspective. Perspective, the rules of perspective, they're all just drawing tricks which let us try to make our drawings look three-dimensional. With one-point perspective, the first thing we need to do is we need to draw in what's called an eye line. Don't worry about a ruler, you don't need a ruler. If the lines are a little bit wibbly, it really doesn't matter. The eye line, which is here, that represents the level that your eyes are at when you're looking at an object or a scene. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in something called a vanishing point. I'm going to put it in the centre here, like that. Okay. I could put it anywhere along that line, but we're just keeping it nice and simple at the moment, and so I'm just putting it in the centre there. The reason for the vanishing point, that will become evident in a couple of minutes' time. We're going to start off with very, very simple shapes, and we're going to try and make them look three-dimensional. So I'm going to draw a square, and I'm going to draw a square just here. Like that. Again, don't worry about using a ruler. If it's a bit wobbly, it really doesn't matter. Now I want to turn that square into a three-dimensional object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line from each corner of the square to the vanishing point, like that. This is why it's called the vanishing point, because if this shape, which now looks like a very, very long shape, if this shape went on into the distance, on and on and on and on, it would appear to vanish at that point. I don't want it to be that long though. I want it to be a cube. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide how deep my cube is going to be. I can decide, I'm the artist, I'm in control. So I'm going to put a line there, like that. That line there is parallel to that line there. That's important. If it's going off at funny angles, then the shape is going to look distorted. So that line and that line are parallel. I'm now going to do another parallel line. This time it's parallel to this line here, like that. So that's my shape. I can just strengthen those lines if I want a bit, like that. These lines here, they're no longer important, but when you're doing your drawings a little bit later, leave those lines in for now because it'll remind you how you develop the shape. I know that as I'm looking at that shape, I am above that shape, and I know that because I can see the top of the shape. My eyeline is there, the top of the shape is there. I'm looking down on that shape. I can also see the side of it there, so I know that that shape is over to the left of me. I'm going to do another cube to show you, but this time I'm going to do it above the eye line, like this. Parallel lines again. Now these shapes don't really relate to buildings at the moment, remembering we're going to be looking at architecture, but they are building blocks, I suppose. They're solid shapes which, if we can draw them and make them look three-dimensional, then that will help us later when we're trying to draw proper buildings. I can make them look more solid by putting a little bit of shading in. You might decide you're going to do this in biro. Biro's fine. You might decide you're going to do it in pencil. Pencil's fine. I'm going to decide where the light is coming from, and I'm going to decide the light is coming from over here. You don't have to draw an arrow in to show where it's coming from, but I'm just showing you there. So if the light's coming in from here, that means that this side here is going to be in shade. So I'm just going to do a little bit of shading on that side there to show that that's darker. And probably, because the light's coming in from over here, the base is going to be a little bit darker here as well. Okay, so that's a way that you can make your shape look a little bit more three-dimensional. Once you've grasped that, how to do that, then for today's exercise, just develop it further by putting lots and lots of these cubes, different sizes, different positions, all over the paper. So you've got flying cubes coming out from that vanishing point, like this. And I'll even put one actually straddling the eye line over here, because that, in a case like that, you're not going to see the top or the bottom of the cube. You're only going to see the side. You're not going to see the top, you're not going to see the bottom, because you are absolutely in line with that shape. Do another one here. Like that. Okay. And you can make it as complex as you like. If you want, you could have squares or cubes behind other cubes. Try to work out where that corner would be. It comes to about there, wouldn't it? So it's becoming a more and more complex drawing. Get the idea? And basically, that's what we're doing first off. That's what you need to have a go at this week. See if you can grasp 1 point perspective. So here we go. It's 1 point 1 point perspective. Next time, we're going to be having a look at 2 point perspective. You can look it up if you like, but don't worry if you just want to focus on this week. Okay, now it's over to you. Have a go. If you're pleased with what you've got, or if you're not pleased with what you've got, load it up and let me have a look at it. So there you go. Now it's over to you. Have a go yourself. Use your sketchbook if you've got it with you. If you haven't, don't worry about it. Just do it on a piece of paper. You can use pencil, you can use biro, you can use felt tip, you can use pencil crayon. Basically, you just need something that's going to make a nice, clear mark. Make it as complex as you like, or keep it as simple as you like. If you think you've grasped it, then you might as well have loads of these cubes flying out from that central vanishing point. If you want to add shading, that would be fantastic. If you want to add colour, if you want to make it really patterned, that would be great as well. And then once it's done, if you want me to have a look, just put it into the Google Photos album, the link I'm going to send you via email, and I'll respond. Okay, don't forget to put your name on it so I know who I'm talking to. All right, have a go. Please enjoy it. If you want to do any other drawing as well, if you want to send those to me, I'm more than willing to have a look at those. And I will see you again very, very soon. What's coming up next are a series of photos by the artist Escher. So they're just for your reference. Have a look at them, see how complex he's managed to make his impossible drawings using the rules of perspective. Some of the rules far more complex than the rule I've just shown you today, but we're going to be doing more and more challenging things as we go along. Just little steps along the way. By the way, if you're watching this and you're not one of my students, obviously you can't send me your pictures and I can't respond to them, but you might want to send them to your own art teacher, see if you can get a response from them. Okay, see you again very soon. Bye.